All right. We are פרק כ"ד, פסוק ל"א. Now, we said last shiur, yesterday, that the pasuk lamed and lamed aleph are continuing each other. They're connected. So just to refresh our memory, al sadeh ish atzel avarti. I passed by the field of a lazy man. Al kerem adam chasar lev, and by the vineyard of someone that was lacking a heart. And we explained that the sedeh, the sadeh represents halachot, kerem, vineyard represent agadot, which is chokhmah. That's why ish is halachot, and adam is chokhmah. And we addressed, right, the chisaron that there is, yes, between the two inyan, which is the halachot and the agadot. Okay, sodot HaTorah versus halichot, the halachot and the maasim, which is the atelion and the atachon that we spoke about. Okay. Continues, Shlomo HaMelech says like this. והנה עלה כולו כימי שושנים, and there was thorns, okay, that grew, okay, on its around that field, that kasu panav harulim. Its surface was covered with chickweed. Begeder avanav neherasa, and the fence that was made out of stone, yes, was broken down. Right? Meaning it's a field that's abandoned. That was never worked. Yes, meaning there was something originally, yeah, because originally it was a vineyard, right? It was a field of growth, but it had a fence. But with time, thorns, chickweed, yes, grew, and the fence was not, this wall made out of stone was not kept properly, ended up, falling apart. So says the Gaon Kamushi, Kim Shonim, it's thorns, and they grow sproutly, right? They grow randomly on a field. And it goes all over, it grows anywhere in the field. That's the thorns. Kasu panav harulim. He says these are the chickweeds. Like when you touch them, you get burnt. Yeah, it's those. That's weed. When you touch it, you get like a rash. It burns your skin. Begeder avanav neherasa, and that's pashut, right? The stones of the wall the wall was in rooms. Says Shlomo HaMelech, says the Gaon, that Shlomo HaMelech is following up on what he said in Pasuk Lamed. So against the sadeh, the field of the ish atzel, of the lazy, yes, which represents what we said, the halachot, yes, that's the thorns grew. Thorns, we're going to see what that means, okay? But it has to do with a certain behavior, right? And thorns are very uncomfortable. They sting. If you cannot touch them, it's randomness, basically. Yes, the halachot are, like we said, a way to organize your behavior, right? When you follow the halachot, you organize your behavior. You do certain things. Your time is organized. Yes, there's things you're allowed to do, things you're not allowed to do. Thorns, randomness, right? And thorns, they again, they grow and they poke. They poke. That's the flip side of the halachot. Kasu panav harulim, right? The face, the surface of the field had chickweed, that herb, that grass that basically burns the skin. Says the Gaon, that's the Agadot. And we said, what is Agadot? We said the Agadot, we said the Sodot Torah, and this is the Chokhmah, right? It's the Chokhmah that we spoke about. And says the Gaon, the Chokhmah, if you don't use it properly, and you don't nurture it properly, and if the Chokhmah you use it the wrong way, you get burnt by it. Yes, and it's logical. Why? Because if your chokhmah is not used properly, you're going to use your chokhmah to do bad things. Yes, and you're going to get burned. The Geder Avanav and the fence of stone, says the Gaon, that's referring to the mitzvot, right? Now in Pasuk Lamed, Shlomo HaMelech did not address the aspect of the mitzvot. He only addressed the sadeh, which is the halachot, and the kerem, which is the agadot. But the mitzvot, he did not address it. We spoke about it that based on the pasuk that the Gaon brought, yes, and discussed in pasuk lamed. But again, he just addressed it, but it wasn't part of the pasuk itself. So here Shlomo HaMelech addresses also the concept of the mitzvot. So he says, okay. So basically, he says this is the flip side. This is what happens. Yes, a person does not follow the halacha. Yes, he lives a random life. Randomness causes trouble. You don't use your chokhmah properly, you are going to end up getting hurt because you're going to use your brain, you're going to use your chokhmah to do the wrong things.
What does the randomness have to do with the chokhmah?
No, it has nothing to do with the chokhmah.
Is it the structure?
No. Randomness is the flip side of halachot.
Halachot is structure. Halachot equals structure.
Structure, and the flip side of that is randomness.
Randomness.
Chokhmah, if you use it well, you build yourself. But if you don't know how to use it, you can burn yourself. And that's the chickweed, yes?
Got it.
Yes. And finally, the mitzvot, which is the represented in this pasuk by the fence of a fence of stone. Yes, the mitzvot. That's your gedarim. That's what protects you, lemaise. Yes, the mitzvot protect you. Yes. So when you don't do mitzvot, then you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable to all the negativity that can come to you. When a person does mitzvot, he has this, he's protected, let me say, by the zchuyot of the mitzvot. That's one bi'ur. Another bi'ur says the Gaon is based on the Gemara in Brachot. That's why it's becoming a little bit interesting. So I'm going to read the Gemara, and then we're going to dive into the Gaon. The Gaon has a biur pshat, so he has a pshat based on that the Gemara, to explain the pasuk, and he has a piasod. Okay, we have a very interesting Gemara, and I apologize for the subject in advance. The Gemara says like this. It's in Brachot Daf Samech Bet. Gufa Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amar. Rabbi Yehuda says in the name of Rab, Leolam yanhig adam et atzmo shacharit ve'arvit. A person should make sure that he goes to the bathroom in the morning and at night. כדי שצריך להתרחק, so that he doesn't have to go out of the camp, right? Or and have and have to do his needs, and then he's alone, so it's dangerous, right? So do it right in the morning and right in the evening, so that yes, you don't get you don't have to go out of where the populated areas during the day or in the middle of the night and be on and put yourself in a risk of being attacked. Wild animals, raiders, who knows? Okay. Tanya Namiachi. The Gemara says we've learned that din also from Ben Azai. Okay? Ben Azai Omer, for different reasons. He said Hashkem v'tzeh. When you wake up in the morning, go to the bathroom. Ha'arev v'tzeh. Evening, yes, before you go to sleep, whatever, you finish your day, also try to go to the bathroom. כדי שלא תתרחק. So that you don't, again, the same thing, you don't have to go far in the middle of the day, okay, or at night. Continues Ben Azai and says like this. He says, Mashmesh Veshev, a person has to prepare himself first and then sit to do his needs. At the time, they didn't have bathrooms as we have today, right? And they basically they used to have like some they used to put some teeth, some clay, okay? They used to put some clay in their back so that if they needed to do so, they had to go to the bathroom. It would not come out. So it was like a way to close it. Okay. So he says when you need to go to the person is needed to go to the bathroom. He says make sure to take off whatever clay, whatever thing there was in the back that was closing the hole, and then sit and make your needs. Why? Because if you sit first and then free the passage, okay, then the kishufim, the bad ruchot come and attack the person through that opening. They enter and they take control over him through that opening. And the Gemara says, what should the person do if he did that? So he says you have to say some things that I'm not. You cannot touch me. You cannot. I mean, talking to the negative ruchot. Say that. That's the Gemara. That's the Gemara. Says the Gaon, but there's obviously you can learn this Gemara באופן pashut, right? Like it's a very practical, very technical, and makes sense. Okay. He says, but that there's also a deeper meaning there, and it's referring, right, to the person. When the Gemara tells you if a person needs to go to the bathroom, it's referring to a time, a portion of the lifetime of the person. Dainu, when a person has to detach himself from internal dirt in his behavior. And he says, that's what the Gemara says. Rabbi Natan Omer, Le'et limso, the time to find, it's learning Torah. According to Mazutra, it's akise, it's the bathroom. It's the time, Le'et limso, right? And the Gemara says that the pshat of Marzutra that is referring to a time where a person has, the person has to take time to flush out whatever is in his body, is really the proper explanation. Yes, what is the best time of the day? Okay? Marzutra says when you go to bathroom. Because it heals you, it satisfies the body. So says the Gaon, how can it be that that Marzutra says the best time of a person, the day of the person is when he goes to the bathroom? Yes? When Rabbi Natan says the best time of the day of the person is when he learns Torah. Okay, can you compare the time when you learn Torah with the time you eat? So it says like this. So it says, based on that Gemara in Brachot Afchet, right? The Machloket Marzutra and Rav Natan, or the different opinions. He wants to go back to this Gemara and explain. He says the Bet HaKiseh, the bathroom, it represents Olam Hazeh. Okay? And the transition between and its transition into the Olam the Olam Haba. What does that mean? He says when a person, yes, has to sit down, meaning he has to go he has to go. Then what? He wants to purify himself, right? When a person goes to the bathroom, it's to purify himself from. Okay, that moment where the person is in the toilet, yes, the Bet HaKiseh is considered Olam Hazeh. Chachamim say in this world, make sure to clean yourself from all the internal negative things that you have. In order for you to be clean afterwards, which is the Olam HaEmet, when you go to the Olam HaEmet. Okay? Says when what are we talking about? What actions are we talking about that a person has to clean himself? Like from what a person has to clean himself? After what action? Says the Gaon, after a person learns Torah, he has to clean himself. What does that mean? Uh, says the Gaon, when a person learns Torah, Chachamim tell us, Torah is like a drug. It could be Samachaim, it could be a drug that brings life, or it can be Samamavet, it can be a drug that brings death. Depending, it's like water it's like rain that comes down in earth. Whatever is inside sprouts. Yes, it depends whatever you plant is what's going to grow. So to the Torah. When you learn Torah, yes, it has an influence of you to take out whatever midot you have inside. If you have good midot, it's going to come out. If a person has bad midot, the Torah will empower those bad midot. Okay? Okay? Therefore, says the Gaon, okay, a person has to, yes.
Why?
Why what?
The thought process is Torah brings Kedusha and makes you better. Not that Torah will empower bad midot.
Okay.
It will help.
Oh, well, what if the person has a desire for or has the negativity in him already?
That's exactly what we are talking. That's exactly what we're talking about.
It's exactly what we're talking about. A person, it's a negative person, Andy, a negative person who's using the knowledge and the chokhmah to flare up his negativity.
It's not a fault of the Torah. It's his fault. It's not that the Torah
No,
is
but the
doing.
Torah is no. The Torah at the end is a source of knowledge, okay, and a source of power that empowers the person then to use that koach in a good or in a bad way. Yes, you see, I don't know, but you see some people that learn, yes, and they can use it in a good way, or they can be twisted and use it in a bad way.
Yeah, the people who take it and say that this is crazy, and they'll find the negativity in the positive that we're learning and say this is why this is crazy, or this is why this is
Not
negative.
even that. No, you don't have to go that far. Even if the fact that you learn, that you connect to the Torah, yes, if you don't have the Yirat Shamayim and you don't have the right approach to the Torah, and you just approach it as a knowledge and as a source of strength, intellectual strength and mental strength, you can, at the end, your instinctive motive will use that strength for its own benefit, which can be bad. So says the Gaon, as soon as you finish learning, you need to empower yourself right away. You have to turn on Yirat Shamayim and go through everything that you've learned and find whatever twist you developed. Like it's a very deep. It's very, very deep. The Gaon is saying that every time we learn, yes, every time we learn, we empower ourselves. And our instinct and our Yetzer Hara takes that information and twists it, okay, to benefit from that knowledge. Okay?
I heard once that when you grow in Torah, the Yetzer Hara grows too.
Yes,
So instead of becoming more Torah and you get that, it goes both.
correct. Correct.
And this should be why.
Correct. So says the Gaon, this is what Marzutra says in the Gemara, that the best time of a person is when he goes to the bathroom. Not meaning the real bathroom. When he sits down and flushes the Yetzer Hara from his learning. And that is the best, is better than the Torah itself. Why? Because you're cleaning your Torah that's in you, yes, from allowing your Yetzer Hara to use it in a negative way.
That also is a thought that comes from the back left.
Yes. 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 And says the Gaon in the psukim that we're talking about, he says this is the influence of atzlut. When a person, that's the sadeh, that's the field of the lazy that has thorns growing in it. Laziness, yes, says the Gaon, might not be to actually get yourself to learn. The Yetzer Hara of laziness can be to summarize and and filter your knowledge after you learned.
Basically, to not internalize everything and only pick and choose what you like,
Understand?
what
No,
you want to.
understand. Yeah, like 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 summarizing what you've learned and through the lens of Yirat Shamayim and finding out how do I grow from this? How does that knowledge make me better? Because if I leave it as is, yes, I might disregard the influence that the Yetzer Hara can have from that learning within me. That's through, like we said, through the Atzlut, okay? And that is the influence. And why is a person Atzel? Why is the person lazy? Because of he has midot ra'ot, he has bad midot. The bad midot, yes, empower and enhance laziness. So if a person, yes, expresses laziness or behaves in a lazy way, essentially the most important time where not to be lazy, Ser Marzutra, is after you are learned. Yes. If you are lazy after you learn, it means that you are under the influence of some midot ra'ot. Now, obviously, we don't know. We didn't know. That's a big hidush, right? It's a huge hidush that the Gaon is teaching us now. Not to be lazy after the learning. We always thought you can be lazy before the learning, but after the learning, yes, the opposite. Because after you learned, the Yetzirah gets a kick to it. You see, maybe you learn, now you can do whatever you want. It's like somebody that does exercise and after that he has a meal with 5,000 calories. That's the Yetzirah.
After I study alachot, they say, okay, now you have to put them in practice.
Exactly.
If you study and don't,
Exactly.
that's
Exactly.
you're responsible now.
נכון. כסו פניו חרולים, דאגדו דחוכמה, that we spoke about, which is keneged the kerem, the vineyard in Pasuk Lamed, right? A vineyard of a chaser lev, the guy that doesn't have a heart. Says the Gaon, this is what leads a person to do bad actions, and even the person himself, yes, is ashamed of doing, and he still does it. He knows it's bad. He knows it's bad, but he still does it. That comes from chaser lev, from the lack of a heart. Yes, meaning from a lack of control of your heart. And the geder avanav, yes, the boundary, the wall of a stone that is broken down. Says these are the boundaries that ya'ani you put yourself in, like, okay, I'm not going to do this. This I don't do. Yes, but they seem to be boundaries, but in reality, it's through those boundaries that you allow everything else to do. It's like, those people that say, you know what, me, I'm going to give you Maaseh Shaya. A gentleman that I met not too long ago, he tells me, he's like me, I was before, I thought I give tzedakah, so I can do everything else. I said, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, taref, woman, drugs. But in my mind, I give tzedakah, I give a lot of tzedakah. I give a lot of tzedakah. So that was his geder. But is that a geder? It's a virtual fence in his mind to say, okay, I'm doing this, so now everything else is mutar. This is the broken fence of stone. So says the Gaon, all these boundaries, yes. If you don't build it properly, yes, you're not protecting yourself from nothing. Says the Gaon, if you don't build your geder through the Limud Torah, then those gdarim are virtual, and eventually the real gdarim, they're not there. The virtual gdarim allow you to do whatever you want, and you have a field that's completely messed up. Yes. So says the Gaon, this is what Chachamim say. When you wake up in the morning and when you go to sleep, you have to do heshbon nefesh. That's what it means. Go to the bathroom. Do heshbon nefesh. Sit and check yourself. Check yourself. and take out the teeth, take out that thing that covers the hole, the ainu, yes, free yourself, yes, and allow yourself to let go of the negative things. Don't stay bottled up. Don't stay locked in. Don't stay closed in. Stubborn. Teshacher, open, let go. And evaluate. What is there's laziness. There is Masim Ra'im, bad actions that I'm ashamed of. That means I have bad midot. That means that I don't use my chokhmah properly. That means that I don't have structure with my halachot. So let go. Flush out, find out what midah, what action, what's the root of the problem, and say today I'm going to fight this. Today I'm not going to let that weakness get to me. At night, before you go to sleep, same thing. Sit and reevaluate. Okay, how did I do today? Did this avera or this bad midah or this bad behavior was done? Wasn't done? I overcome it. And slowly you force yourself. Until you clean yourself from all the from midot raot. It says the Gaon, you have to do that. You have to do that with a lot of armumiyut. You have to be very pikeach, very shrewd. Yes, you cannot. This is not avodah that you can do heads on with the Yetzer Hara. Because if you do it heads on with the Yetzer Hara, he's gonna know. He's gonna find a way to get you distracted, to make you discouraged, etc., etc. So he says you have to the same way Yaakov Avinu fooled Esav. Yes, you have to fool your Yetzer Hara the same way. You have to know how to talk to your Yetzer Hara and to appease him and to make the Yetzer Hara. Then it's okay, comfortable, calm down. I'm not going to change. Just checking. I'm not going to turn into a Moshe Rabbeinu. Let me just feel comfortable with myself. Yes, and you pick up with your assessment in the morning something that needs to be fixed, and you keep it in your mind all day. The night comes, evaluate. Was today good? Oh, today was good. Okay, tomorrow, again, until after a certain amount of days of time, this issue is no longer part of your system, and then you analyze yourself again in the morning, and then you identify another issue, and depending on what's urgent and what is relevant in that time is what you're going to be focused on that day. Sometimes it could be anger because there was a weakness of anger the day before, or laziness, or impatience, or sheker, or whatever it is, whatever needs a special attention. Okay, so again, that's how you rebuild your field, your fence, yes, and your vineyard. Good. Until that was clear. It was a okay. So the Gaon then addresses also the same concept but al pi asod. He says like this: we know that the concept of time, okay, is banukva, is in the nook of the Zer Anpin, in the Malchut, right? Meaning the Malchut, since it's the vessel receiving everything, yes, and containing everything. The moment your things are contained, they have a beginning, they have an end, which means there is time. Say there. So the concept of time is always relative to the nukva, to the malchut, the nukva of Zeir Anpin. And we're saying here that we're talking about three periods of time. Okay? He says like this. You have three worlds. A world where there's only bad, a world where there is which is transitional. There's good and bad, and you have to flush yourself from the bad, and the world that is all good. Okay, these are three olamot. Three olamot. We live in the middle world. Yes, in the world where you have good and bad, where you have to flush the good from the bad. Where does that happen? In the Malchut, right? Because the world that we live is a world that is finite, that has time. Olam haba is infinite. Okay? The Olam Shekulo Lotov can also be infinite. It's also infinite. There's no time there. So where is the concept of time in the world that we were in the world that we live in? Okay, which is the world where you have the good and the bad, where you have to flush the bad from the good. Yes.
Which is the world that everything is bad.
Okay. There is, if you recall, we spoke about a place in Gehinnom, yes, where Sheol and the places where there's only negative there. Meaning it's not Gehinnom where you transit to Olam Haba. For example, the Kafakela, those places where people are stuck there and there's no coming back. Okay. So says the Gaon, okay. Basically, the psukim that we're talking about here are psukim, yes, that show the behavior of a person ba'olam hazeh, yes, in this world, where when he has the ability to separate the good from the bad, but because of his laziness, of his bad midot, of his chaser lev, of lack of heart, yes, lack of self-control, empowers or enhances the bad over the good. So says the Gaon, that's how the person builds his place in the olam that is not good. When the person fights and washes off the bad from the good, he builds his place in the world of good. Okay? Yeah, we're good? No.
Just just amazing how from this pasuk, it's all of them, but this one is so different.
Ah,
It as you're regrouping for a second, I'm going back and like, what was the pasuk again?
right.
That's amazing.
Yes. The thorns, the shigweed, and the broken fence. Okay. And yes,
In that valley, you can do Heshwan Nefesh, or it's a place you cannot think in that.
you can.
Because it will come to my mind now.
You can. You
You
can.
can't speak it though, right?
No, you cannot think about. You cannot even think of Divrei Torah. But Cheshbon and Nefesh, you can do. You can.
Okay.
But for sure you can. For sure you can. But the beauty is to understand that our body works in a way. Yes, the one thing that is universal to all, that cannot be modified by computers or anything, is the body flushing the excrement. Okay? Which is exactly the essence and the purpose of this world. That's what it revolves around. And in a world that has limits, which is time, which is the malchut, where there is the influence of the good and the not good, where exactly there, yes, we do have an impact in Am Israel, in the malchut, right? Which is the makom hashchina. So it's exactly there that we can do the avodah.
And moreover, when we go physically, the body does the perfect job. But spiritually, maybe we can flash good things and keep the bad.
Exactly.
So we have to emulate that process
The process of the body. Exactly.
and
Exactly.
learn from it.
E-
So
Exactly.
just to be sure, should we be thinking about these things?
What do you mean?
The cheshbon nefesh while we're Andy said I'm not gonna be able to help myself, but think about it when I'm in the bathroom. Should we be thinking about it while we're in the bathroom
I don't know about if should you be, but listen, you don't.
should we be making that connection?
Maybe. Why not? למה
Will
לא?
it help?
למה לא?
The first thing is not to take the phone.
Exactly.
So you
Exactly.
have a clear mind.
Exactly.
And flash it too. Yeah, my case.
So
Baruch Hashem, so beautiful.
we have the last three psukim of this perek are still relevant to, but we can do it. It's going to be pretty quick. Be'ezrat Hashem. We'll see it next year. בסדר. So we finished. We did Lamed Aleph.
Thank you, Rabbi. Beautiful.
באהבה.
Andy, you're on mute.